Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
Hi everyone, this is chapter 1, lesson 1.5. In this lesson, we will be learning about least common multiple. Multiples that are shared by two or more numbers are called common multiples. The least of the common multiples is called the least common multiple, or LCM. You can find the LCM of two or more numbers by listing multiples of using prime factors. Now, in this lesson, I'm going to teach you a few ways on how to find least common multiple. One way is, I would say, the long way, and then the other way would be the short way, but it doesn't work all the time. So, hopefully, we can figure out, and during a live lesson, I will teach you the right way to find it perfect all the time. Even though the short way works, I would say 98% of the time. Okay? So here's the first way. The first way we're going to do is we're just going to make a list. So I'm going to make a list of multiples of 4. So I'm just going to find multiples of 4. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. And I could keep on going until I find the multiple of both 4 and 6. So now I can do the exact same with 6. So 6, 12, 18. But it looks like I already found a least common multiple. So the number that both of them have in common is 12. So this is probably called the list way. So you're making a list of numbers, and then once you find the number that they both have in common, the smallest one, that is your least common multiple. Now, this will work 100% of the time. The problem with this is it's very hard to find when numbers are abnormal, like weird numbers, and I'll give you an example of that. But I'll show you a second way. Now, this second way, I would say it works like 98% of the time. Doesn't work all the time, but it works 98% of the time. And I like to call it the tic-tac-toe method. So tic-tac-toe, we're going to put a 4 here and a 6 here, okay? And now we're going to find numbers that go into this. So what number goes into 4 and 6? Well, I know 2 does. So 2 goes into 4, and that is 2. And then 2 goes into 6, and that is 3. Now, all of these are prime numbers. And the easiest way for me to always remember this is least common multiple starts with the letter L, right? So I'm just going to make an L, and I need to multiply these numbers. So 2 times 2 times 3. So let's multiply those. 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 3 equals 12. So your LCM, your least common multiple, is 12. Okay, let's try a few more examples, and we're going to do it the tic-tac-toe method, okay? So here we go. We're going to have 3 and 8. Is there a number that can go into both 3 and 8? The only one number is 1. So this is the one that kind of looks weird. So 1 goes into 3 times. 1 goes into 8 times. So I'm still going to have to multiply in the letter L. So now let's just multiply. 1 times 3 times 8. 1 times 3 is 3. And then 3 times 8 is 24. All right. So for this number, the LCM is 24, and the tic-tac-toe method worked. All right, let's try another one. Now we have 9 and 12. Again, let's make our tic-tac-toe. Let's plug in our numbers. All right, is there a number that can go into 9 and 12? Yes, 3. So 3 goes into 9 3 times, okay? And then 3 goes into 12 4 times, okay? Now here's the next question. Is there a number that can go into both 3 and 4? No. So now we just need to multiply. And remember, LCM starts with the letter L. So let's multiply in the L shape. So we have 3 times 3 times 4. 3 times 3 is 9. And then 9 times 4 is 36. So your least common multiple for this problem is 36. All right, let's do one more problem. This time we have 6 and 10. Let's do our tic-tac-toe. So we have 6 and 10. All right, so now let's see. Is there a number that can go into both 6 and 10? Yes, 2. 2 can go into 6 3 times. 2 can go into 10 5 times. Okay. Now, is there a number that can go into 3 and 5? No. So all we need to do now is multiply. Remember, LCM starts with the letter L. So let's multiply. 2 times 3 times 5. 2 times 3 is 6. And then 6 times 5 is 30. So the LCM, or the least common multiple for this problem, is 30. All right, that was in example number 2. We are going to learn how to find the least common multiple using prime factorization. So we are going to use our prime factor trees. So let's break down these numbers. So we have 4 and 4. Then we have 2 and 2. So now that we have all of these prime numbers, I'm just going to circle them. And I'm going to do the same thing here for 20. I have 4 and 5. And then I have 2 and 2. So I'm going to circle all of my prime numbers. Okay? Now, to solve this, all we need to do is create one more step. So I'm going to create this little chart. I have 16 and 20. I'm going to put in all of my prime numbers. So 2, 2, 2, and 2. And over here, right, so I did all of those. And then I have 2, 2. I don't have any more 2's here, so I'm going to have to skip this, and I'm going to have to put a 5. Let me erase this really quick. I'm going to put a 5 here, okay? So now here are the rules for this other way, for this next step, is you're going to create this little chart. So I'm going to recreate it over here for everyone to see it. We have 2, 2, 2, and 2. We have 2 and 2, and then we're going to skip those 2 and 5. Now, here are the rules. You can do one factor from every column, all right? So these are our columns. And then we can do one factor from every pair. All right, so this would be a pair, this would be a pair, and so forth, okay? So now all we need to do is, let's see. So here's a pair, I can only use one of those. Here's another pair, I can use another one of those. Right, there's nothing else here, so I'm just going to bring that down. There's nothing else here, so I'm going to bring that down. And then there's nothing else here, so I'm just going to bring this down. So now all I need to do is multiply all of these together, and I'm going to find my my least common multiple. So 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16, and then 16 times 5 will get me 80. All right, so this is one way to do it. I'm going to show you the tic-tac-toe method as well. So let's see if we get the exact same answer. Remember, I said it works 98% of the time. So let's see. What number can go into 16 and 20? Well, let's see, 4. 4 can go into 16 4 times, and then 4 can go into 20 5 times. Remember, LCM starts with the letter L, so we're going to multiply in an L. 4 times 4 times 5. So let's see, 5 times 4 is 20, and then 20 times 4 is going to give me 80. So it looks like the tic-tac-toe method worked this time too. Now I do want to tell you that this method right here works 100% of the time. It's a little bit longer and it's a little bit harder, but I promise you, if you figure it out, it's very easy to solve. So these numbers right here, these ones are the ones that are going to get a little bit tricky. So we're going to do it the long way and see if we can figure it out, okay? So let's break this down into our factor tree. We have 2 and 7. And over here we have 2 and 9, and then 3 and 3. All right, so let's make our little chart. We have right here like this. We have 14 and 18. These are our prime numbers, 2 and 7. And here are our prime numbers. We have 2, right? So there's no 7 here, so there's nothing to put here. We're going to skip a space, and then we have 3 and 3. Okay, so now remember the rules. The rules where you can have one factor from every column and then one factor from every pair. So now let's just go down. Here's our first pair. We have 2. Here's our first factor, 7 and 3 and 3. So now we just need to multiply these together. So I have 3 times 3 is 9 times 7 times 2. So now we just need to multiply. Let's do 7 times 9, which gets us 63. And then 63 times 2 gets us 126. Yep, that's correct. So our least common multiple for this problem is 126. Let's do it in the tic-tac-toe method and see if it works, if we get the same one. Remember, I said it works 98% of the time. So here's 14, here's 18. What number goes into both of them? Well, let's say 2. So 2 How many times 2 go into 14? We know it goes 7 times. And 2 goes into there. That's 9. So it looks like we got the exact same numbers, right? 2, 7, and 9. All we need to do is multiply in the L shape, and we get 126. All right, let's try another one. So let's make our factor tree. We got 4 and 7, and then we have 2 and 2. Here are all of my prime numbers. Now let's do this one. We have 4 and 9. We have 2 and 2, and then 3 and 3. All right, let's do our shape. So we're going to go like this. We're going to put 28. We're going to put 36. And let's put our prime numbers. We have, oops, let's do it in blue since I wrote it in blue. 2, 2, and 7. And then over here I have 2, 2. We're going to skip this, right, because there's no other 7. We have 3 and 3. Now remember the rules. 1 from every column and then 1 from every pair. So I have 2, 2, 7, 3, and 3. So now I just need to multiply all of these together. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 3 is 9. Now let's just multiply all these together. Oops, why did I put 2 x's? 4 times. All right, so now let's do all these together. 4 times 7 times 9. So let's multiply this. 9 times 7 is 63. And then 63 times 4. Let's see, 4 times 3 is 12. Carry the 1. 4 times 6 is 24. Plus 1 is 25. 252. All right, let's do the tic-tac-toe method and see if it works the same way. Remember I said tic-tac-toe method works 98% of the time. So we have 28 and 36. So let's see what number goes into both of them. Well, I know 4 does. So 4 goes into 28 7 times. 4 goes into 36 9 times. All right, so is there any other numbers that can go into both 7 and 9? No. So we're going to multiply in the shape of an L, and we're going to get the exact same number, 252. All right, let's try one more example. We have 24 and 90. I think this is the first one that's going to work that's not tic-tac-toe. So let's just try it out. Let's see, what numbers go into 24? We know 2 and 12. And we have 2 and 6. And then we have 2 and 3. All right, so here are all of my prime numbers. All right, let's do this one. We have 9 and 10, 3 and 3, and then we have 2 and 5. All right. So now let's do our shape again. We have 24, we have 90, so we have 2, 2, 2, and 3. All right, now we have, all right. So we see how we have 3, 3, 2, and 5. So we have this 2 here. All right, we're going to take that. We're going to skip that, these next 2. Here's our 3, and then our 5. All right, so now let's go down the line. We have 2, we have 2, we have 2, we have 3, we have 3, and then we have 5. Okay, so now all we need to do is, right, we took 1 from each column, 1 from each pair. Now we just need to multiply. 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 3 is 6, and then 3 times 5 is 15. All right, so now let's multiply. What is 15 times 4? I know that that is 60, and then 60 times 6, 60 times 6 will get us 360. That's our LCM. Let's see if it works in the tic-tac-toe method. We got 24 and 90. Let's see what number goes into both 24 and 90. I know 6 does. 6 goes into 24 4 times. 6 goes into 90. Let's see. 6 times 10 is 60. 6 times 5 is 30. So that's 15. So now we just, well, would you look at that? We are going to get the exact same thing. LCM. All we need to do is multiply. 6 times 4 times 15. And we're going to get our least common multiple for, our least common multiple for this problem is 360. Now that is how you do your least common multiple. Ladies and gentlemen, please rewatch this video a few times. Please practice all of the practice problems that we will be doing. The more you do it, the better you will be at it. This In example number 3, we are going to be finding the least common multiple of 3 numbers. So these are the 3 numbers we are going to find: 4, 15, and 18. So I'm going to start off with the tic-tac-toe method first. So let's do that. So this time, because we have 3 numbers, we're going to make those three lines. So we have 4, 15, and 18. So let's see. 4, 15, and 18. All right, so this one's going to be a weird one, right? Because is there a number that can go into both of these? All 3 of these? Sorry, no. So the only one we can think about is 1. So 1 goes into 4 4 times, 1 goes into 15 15 times, 1 goes into 18 18 times. So I think this is the first time we're going to see. I thought it was the last example, but I think this is the first time we're going to see that LCM does not work. Or sorry, this tic-tac-toe method. So let's just multiply. We have 18 times 15. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 4 is 9. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 1 is 1. I have 0. 9 plus 8 is 17. So 270, and then we have to do 270 times 4. That's 0. 4 times 7 is 28. Carry the 2. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 2 is 10. So it looks like they say the least common multiple for this problem is 1080. All right. So this is this way. Let's try it the other way that I taught you before. And let's do our factor tree. So we had 4, we had 15, and then we had 18. So our first factor here is 2 and 2. Our next factor here is 3 and 5. And then our factor here is 6 and 3. And then 3 and 2. All right. So now that we have all of our prime numbers, let's make our chart, right? So here's our chart, and then we have 4, 15, and 18. So we have 2 and 2, so we just did those ones. And now we have 3 and 5, so we have no numbers there. So we have 3 and 5. And then over here, it looks like we have 3, so that's 1. We have a 2, that's another one, and then we have another 3. So there's no other 3, so right there we go. So now remember the rules: 1 from each column and 1 from each pair. So we have 2, 2, 3, 5, 3. So if we do it this way, all we need to do is multiply. So 2 times 2 is 4. Let's see. 3 times 5 is 15. And then multiply by that 3. So now let's multiply. Let's see. 4 times 15. Let's do that. 4 times 5 is 20, carry the 2. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. And 6 times 3 is going to equal 180. So it looks like we got the same. So as you guys can see, the first time we did it in the tic-tac-toe, this is the first time that the tic-tac-toe method did not work. All right? You see how big of a number we got? So it looks like if you this way, remember I said, if you do it this way, you get it correct 100% of the time. So let's do it a few more times, and we're going to try it out. So this time we have 3 numbers again. Let's show all of our work. This time I'm not going to use the tic-tac-toe method. We're going to do it the long way I said, okay? So let's do our factor tree. Oops. What's in this factor tree of 2 is just 1 and 2. Okay. And this is 1 and 5. And then this one is 4 and 2, and then 2 and 2. So let's circle all of our prime numbers. And let's multiply. So we have 2, 5, and 8. So I have 1 and 2. And then I have 1 and 5. And then I have, right, so I have a 2. Then I have a 2 and a 2. Okay. So now let's see. I have 1, 2, 5, 2, and 2. So let's just multiply this. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 5 is 10. 10 times 2 is 20. And 20 times 2 is 40. So it looks like our least... That's not right. No, that is right. That is right. Our least common multiple is 40. For some example, I thought it was going to be 20, but 8 doesn't go into 20. Our least common multiple is 40. All right, let's try it one more time, and let's see if we can get the correct answer again. So let's do our factor trees. Oops. We have 2 and 3. and then we have 2 and 5, and then we have 4 and 3, and then 2 and 2. Let's circle all of our prime numbers. And now let's make our chart again. So we have 6, 10, and 12. All right, so I have 2 and 3, so I just did those two. Then I have 2 and 5, so I have a 2, but there's no 5, okay? And then I have a 2, right? I have a 3, and then I have one more 2. Now remember the rule was 1 from each column and 1 from each pair. This time it's a triplet, so we just 2, 3, 5, and 2. So let's see if we can find our least common multiple. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 5 is 30. And then 30 times 2 is 60. So our least common multiple for this problem is 60. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please watch these videos a few times. And if you're still struggling, please let me know. This was...